from 8 a.m. until 12 noon. We also live on GBD channel 115 and live stream on the internet. Join me as we discuss all of the current events of our beautiful country and around the world. You too could get into the program by calling in 4560931 or 4850931. Thank you for tuning in. Join me 8 a.m. to 12 noon. Hello, welcome to the program Champagne in the Morning with yours truly, your favorite guy, Champagne. Join me here every morning from 8 a.m. until 12 noon. We also live on GBD channel 115 and live stream on the internet. Join me as we discuss all of the current events of our beautiful country and around the world. You too could get into the program by calling in 4560931 or 4850931. Thank you for tuning in. Join me 8 a.m. to 12 noon. Hello, welcome to the program Champagne in the Morning with yours truly, your favorite guy, Champagne. Join me here every morning.
The character of our country tomorrow depends on the extent to which our young people are equipped to assume the mantle of responsibility. To place emphasis on the youth is to articulate an act of faith in a better tomorrow for our people. The late Louis George, Education Minister. It is my responsibility to tell the stories and to relate the realities of substance, leadership, and perseverance, bringing you the evidence of good governance, transforming lives, the literature and principles, performance, importance, and brilliance of the United Workers' Party. I am Diana Williams, and this is the UWP Working for You.
Hello everyone, I'm Norbert Williams, right here on Sky FM 93.1. Join me Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. for the morning edition of Keeping It Real. And on Tuesdays and Fridays, Minerva Ward joining me from Canada, right near the North Pole. Although it's cold over there, it's gonna be hot in here. Don't you forget, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on GVD TV and streaming live on Facebook. Don't you miss it. And good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Saint Lucie, Sakafet la épisode. Good morning to you. It's another day and another morning episode of Keeping It Real. Today is Friday, the 21st day of May 2021. And in just 1 month, on the 21st of June, will be the longest day of the year. How you like that? Longest day of the year, folks. How are you this morning, folks? How are you? Got a big discussion to come up with you. About 6:30 this morning. It's going to be hot, folks. It's going to be hot. Big discussion this morning. Who knows? It's soon. Soon. Big discussion at 6:30. Nevertheless, good morning to all of you already out there in the diaspora. Good morning to you. It's a little warm in here, you know. Mainly the AC sa pa bien travail yourself. I don't know. But anyway, good morning to you all around St. Lucia. Those of you in the US of A, those of you in England, in Canada, those of you in Trinidad, Martinique. Bonjour Martinique, bonjour Cayenne, bonjour Guadeloupe. Zot tout hala. Jala. Bonjour. The little thing about our Creole, you know. Maybe some places like Derisio or whatever, they'll say, Zot tout jala. And in other places of St. Lucia, they say, Zot tout hala. Isn't it? Like Matiwin, you know. That's right. Matiwin of English, of Patois, of Creole. Yeah. Good morning to Vieux-Fort. Good morning to Groselet, all the way in the north. Good morning to Ancillary and Canaries. Market Street in Ancillary, good morning. Otabor and Otabor Heights in Lanslaoui, bonjour. Bella Rosa in Canawi. Good morning. Morning to you. Good morning to Soufrère, Fonsaint-Jacques. Morning to you. How did you sleep last night, folks? What was it? Did it rain where you are? You know, did it rain? Talking about real rain. Did it snow where you are? Was it windy? Was it cold? Hope you let me know this morning. Good morning to the man LaClary. Today is Friday. You gotta round off the week properly. Yeah, round off the week properly. No papi show, no papi show, no papi show. That's right. And of course, folks, here we go with the birds and the bees. It's another beautiful day in paradise in St. Lucia. It's lovely. It's lovely. Ooh. Nothing more exciting than when you order something and you get that email that says, your order has shipped. Oh my God, get all excited. Get all excited. Especially say from la you can order bagay. You can order. Soulier, c'est ça you aime. Order. Soulier. Eh bien, jeep, eh bien, chemise bagay. Gonna look hot. Good morning to Anthropo. Good morning, Independent City. Good morning, Wavin Chabot. Good morning, Bocage. Morning, Bagatelle. Good morning, Marchand. Bishop's Gap and Wavin 212 and Arundel Hill, Rock Hall, George Charles Boulevard. Good morning, Cedars. Good morning, Leslie Land. Morning, Waterworks. Good morning to Black Malay. Morning there. Morning, Menard Hill and Pavey and Capitol Hill and Mont Fortune and Lattock Road and Banan. Yeah, Banan. Morning to Banan. Good morning to Bananas. Morning. Morning to Foa Show. You know, if somebody could call me in and tell me what Foa Show means. I know it's not the hot hole Foa Show. Yeah, Foa Show. It's not a hot hole. Give me the right meaning and you'll get the bell this morning. How's that? Is that a good deal? Is that a good deal, folks? I think it is. How did you sleep last night? I need you to tell me. Did you have a good night? Did you how do I say it? How do you say that? And it's not reminiscing because it's not that long ago. Yesterday is not reminiscing. You know, did you, during your night or trying to sleep or whatever, did you like go over in your head what happened the day before? You know? Yeah, I'm keeping it real with y'all folks. For our show. Faux, F-A-U-X, is it, or F-A-U-D? F-A-U-X. Faux à chaud. Says false heat for the literal translation. False heat. You show me your pas show pièce. Faux à chaud. False heat. Oh, hey, we got our first call this morning, folks. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning.
Hey.
Good morning.
Hey.
Good morning.
Morning, how are you, sir?
I'm cool and easy as the wind
Yeah,
blows.
I thought so.
You know that life is so complicated. And we make it more complicated by adding more to it. What do we really want in life? Or do we really need this? Or do we really want that? It looks like we want. The biggest problem in the world, we want. It is often said that give a child a choice, a meal or a snack. The child will normally choose a snack. Why is this? Because the child lacks the knowledge of the importance of a meal. We too, as grown-ups, generally make choices like a child without knowledge. If we have given freedom of choices without spiritual knowledge, then our freedom of choices will not liberate us from bondage. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. That's the man, Monsieur Leclerc, with the Keeping It Real thought for the day. And as usual, looking out of the window, the Sky FM studio window, I can see some clouds, I can see some sky, I see some bright clouds, like the sun shining through, that's a good sign. So I'll tell you exactly what that means. Right now in Castries, temperature is 81 degrees, going up today to a high of 86 degrees. No chance of rain, very slim. 5% chance of rain. I guess you can discount that. Anything that's falling from the sky is going to be localized weather, maybe just a few sprinkles here and there. But basically cloudy, and as usual, hide and seek with the clouds and the sun most of today, into this afternoon, into tonight, and basically the same thing overnight. Nighttime low of 79 degrees. 81 degrees in Castries, going up to a high today of 86. And I'm Norbert Williams from the Sky FM Weather Center. How you like that, folks? You like that? Yeah, nobody gives you weather kind like Sky FM, Nobody does. Yes. Reflect. Were you reflecting on your day yesterday, folks? I just want to know. Just want to know. La 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 la. You having your coffee this morning, or your tea, or your longette? Every day I run through the list of the usual stuff, but today, are you having Weetabix this morning? That's what I want to say. Are you having your Weetabix or cornflakes or Toloma? Is anybody out there having Toloma in this chalet? Chalet. You're having Toloma, or what are you having? Yeah, there's some other thing I remember. I don't remember quite what it's called. Maybe somebody can call in and let me know. Some like little grains. I don't know what it is. It's like translucent or whatever. Like little grains in it. Good morning. You on the air? Let's keep it real.
Yeah, morning. Norbert.
Morning. How are you? Can you turn down your radio, please?
I'm good.
Talk to me, caller.
Yeah. Last night I heard over the news that Guy Joseph having...
You have something over the mouthpiece, caller. You have something over your microphone.
Guy Joseph having political meetings around.
You heard, what did you say?
I heard over the news last night
Yeah.
that Guy Joseph having political meeting all around.
What does that really mean?
So I just asked to confirm whether that's true or not, because the person is saying under the COVID thing, how Guy can have political meetings around.
Well, you can have a political meeting with 5 people,
That is what came to my mind.
I don't know where that's happening.
If the man have his loudspeakers and he has...
But rather peculiar that if on the news you heard that?
Yeah.
Well, did the news continue and say where those meetings were held and when?
I heard somewhere in Chope.
Chopin.
Yeah.
He had a political meeting. Did they say how many people attended the meeting?
Said that she was in the kitchen and she heard the meeting going on, and other people called her and told her about meeting.
Hearsay. Yeah. And in doing the story, did they at least contact Guy Joseph to verify whether he did in fact have a meeting?
It was that same person that said, forget about what Joachim Henry did in the church and let's concentrate on DSH and that thing and cardboard and let's concentrate that instead. And forget about what Guy Joseph. That same person that said that last night.
What do you expect?
Like Guy Joseph having political meetings around.
What do you expect, Colin? What do you expect?
He's gonna pull him all by himself.
I'm not gonna attach any significance to that. I seriously doubt there's any merit in that.
If there is law for Matthew, how they don't have law for Matthew?
And they have presented absolutely no evidence to substantiate that. Just they say by three times deep. Yeah. Don't worry. Don't run away. At 6:30 this morning, I'm gonna drop the hot topic.
Okay, I'm there.
All right.
6:30.
Yeah, 6:30. We're rolling into it early this morning.
All right.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller.
Okay, I'm a usual listener and watcher.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Yeah, I'm gonna get into some action this morning, and yeah. Local media has a lot, the so-called journalists, but we know where a lot of them are already. So why be surprised? Why be surprised? Why be surprised when you expect there to be sensible follow-up on stories? Is just repetition of nonsense. Rumor has it. That's how you can report to serve. You ever hear such? No. You ever listen to CNN and hear them say rumor has it? So you're a rumor monger then. Too lazy to go and research stories and do your own proper investigations. Let you I fed investigation. I done you. Say pli rumors, pli papi show. Mother yon lodjua kisaki ve. Ek betis like AI report. Kamutre document tout kalte bagay di moun vo le lahan NIC moun bagay. Hein? Ek apoizan kisaki fet. Jolou ka konte ou lahan apoizan kouman. C'est moun la. C'est moun la. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. Really pathetic. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real.
Hi, good morning, Norbert.
Good morning. How are you?
Good show as usual.
Thank you very much. I haven't gotten into it yet.
I just listening to you.
Great.
Tell the opposition focus on the house instead than focusing on the UWP. We'll take them with the pants down. I could tell you that. So you okay?
I'm doing good, caller. Thank you. What are you having for breakfast this morning? Or what have you had?
I'm drinking coffee.
Coffee?
Coffee I drinking, yeah.
Is that local or what?
No, not local, the Nescafe.
Nescafe. That's instant?
Yeah, the instant.
Instant. So you're an instant woman?
Yeah, of course. Because I'm getting ready to go to work.
Okay, great. Well, you have a wonderful day, okay?
Yeah, same to you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for calling. Bye. Well, there's an instant coffee lady for you right there. Instant cafe. Cafe instantane. Cafe instanto. I suspect this AC is not working properly. I might have to take the morning off. What do you say, folks? Those of you who can see me on TV. Anyway, I gave you the wink. 93.1 on your FM dial, all around St. Lucia. Folks, the only radio station in St. Lucia on one frecuencia. One. They have no north, south, east, west kind of thing going on there. One frequency. That is it. That is it. One frequency. One frequency. Whether you're in Viewfort, in Denry, Miko, Choiseul, Soufoué, Kanawi, Membaila. Morning to the minibus drivers And good morning to the passengers on those minibuses plying the routes around St. Lucia. Folks, if you're not there at the bus yet, when you get to the bus and they're playing anything else, you tell the driver, put that on Sky FM 93.1. So you're going to get the information, you're going to get the hottest talk in the land, the hottest information right here. Patouche, driver, don't touch that. You hear what I tell you? Oh, I'm not paying you. Try that. See what the driver says. Namite wate? Ebe patouche. Radio. Kite ila. I don't know, but the AC is not working in here this morning. At all. I don't know why. Might not get up to 6:30 if it keeps on being warm like that. I'm gonna have to go. What do you say? You think I should leave? I want somebody to call me and tell me if the AC is not working, whether I should stay in here or whether I should leave. That's what I want to know. I want to know. Tell me. There you go. How's that? How's that? Everybody's always talking about the horizontal accuracy of my bow tie. You know, it's a talking piece. One of these days, I'm just gonna come with one that just spins around like a helicopter. Yeah. So, what's happening in the news? You say? What's happening? Well, of course, the Hakalaks were at it again yesterday. Oh, well, before yesterday. If you watched Rick last night, yeah, Rick, you would have seen the real performer or the singer of that country and western song that they plagiarized, or they well, plagiarize is not quite the word I'm looking for, but that the Hakalaks, and you know who the Hakalaks are related to, on behalf of whom, took the man's song without his permission and did all kind of things with it. Metia baeksha, sneka chebe amuna kuika, tufe mun la bagay. You know, the man was out last night and said he didn't give anybody any permission to use his song to do that. Yo coupe enchanté bogla en music video et yo mette tout ça yo te vle adan. L'habitude yo vie mal mes. Well, it says here that Fortuna Bell was on St. Lucia Times, confident in bid to unseat Philip J. Pierre. Well, It looks like a day for the beach, you know, when that sun begins to rise a little higher in the sky and those clouds burn off. Yesterday was lovely. It looked nice. For the beach. Hardly anybody was on the beach. You know, it's interesting how when you're driving up out of town and you swing by VG Field to go up the stretch, you know, and you just in the St. Lucian parlance, you just cast your eye on the left, across to the beach, across the airport, and you see that under the almond trees there, just every tree has a car. You know, everybody has staked out a tree. You know, that's my tree in the shade, and those trees have been there for a very long time, very, very long time. Same trees. When I went to St. Mary's College way back when, those same trees were there, just as big. So I'm putting it to you that those trees are at least 100 years old there. All those almond trees along the beach. At least 100 years. Every tree has a car or vehicle parked under it. That's my space, man. That's my shade. That's my almond tree umbrella. Yeah. And it's 6:27. Let's see who else from the diaspora is here. Oh, here they are. Here they are. Look, oh, here they are. They're coming in there. Boy, Canada, 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 Canada. Barbados, ma. Beiji. Good morning to you, ma. Beige is there. UK, USVI, St. Martin, Martinique, Cayenne. Well, c'est pas Cayenne, c'est French Guyana. Chicago, Alaska, New York City, Miami, Fort Worth, Texas. Hey, got a lot of people on here today. Well, good morning to you in the UK and everywhere else around the world. Thank you so much for joining. And of course, if you want to listen in your vehicle, 93.1 FM, or you can use your phone and Bluetooth it. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Hi, Norbert. How are you
Morning,
doing?
sir. How are you?
Not badly. I'm calling to say to you and your listeners that last night I saw a revelation on television. I wouldn't call it a miracle to cheapen it, right?
Yeah.
I was watching Rick Wayne's show, and for the first time, I have to repeat that, for the first time, I thought this was more spiritual than anything that I had seen Rick Wayne do. And also for the first time, I felt that it was the first person Rick Wayne had on his show that he genuinely respected. He was not badgering him. He was not rushing questions. You know, 90% of the time, Rick Wayne doesn't let you finish your answers because he has so much to say. He's talking over you. Last night, I saw Rick Wayne relax, and I saw him enjoy his show. And you know what I said? That's also the first time that Rick Wayne has come close, in my humble opinion, from all the shows that I have seen for many years going back, the presence of a spiritual power, whether it's Jesus Christ, whether it's God, whatever. And for the first time, he acknowledged that he couldn't stand on his own. From Mr. World, Mr. Universe, Mr. America, Mr. Great Britain, you know, the bodybuilding was important. His physicality was so important. Last night, I believe I saw a different Rick Wayne. And we can do what we want now, but we don't have to be religious. We don't have to be anything like that. We don't have to be born again, anything. But there comes a point in our lives when we know, whether you call it Holy Spirit, God, Jesus, Jehovah, whatever, that there is something more within us than just the physical self. And I saw that revelation on television last night. I wouldn't call Rick to tell him, because that conversation might go on for too long. But I'm saying it to you. I know it will get to him.
Somebody will tell him.
Say again?
Somebody will tell him.
Somebody will tell him. I'm saying it to you. Because I saw Rick interact with this guy as two equal men, and I suspect for the first time I made up my mind, Rick is not any journalist. He did journalism to survive. He writes to survive. But he's really an artist. He loves music. He loves to sing.
In my imagination.
Right. And I find from a child I've been wondering whether it's possible to be angry and to be singing at the same time. People may be able to do it, but I find it difficult to sing a love song if your heart is angry, if your mind is against your brother or your sister. And I am saying to you this morning and to your listeners that for the first time, and I keep using that phrase, I had to refer to Jesus on the cross. When he was at his agonizing worst, when he might have felt the most pain before he expired and died on that cross, what did he do? He asked his followers to love your enemies, to do good to those who hate you, to bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you, and be merciful just as your Father is merciful to you. For me personally, that is a test that is very, very difficult, especially in politics. I believe in my political life, and up to now I believe it is difficult. I pray over it, but when a person comes to you with a little handgun, where it is, 30 bullets or 9mm, whatever, I believe you have to come at him with something like an AK-47. That is my politics. I may be wrong, and I acknowledge the fact that I may get there one day. If he comes with an AK-47, you come with something even more terrible. That is the politics I understand.
That's what's referred to as MAD.
But
you know that?
I know.
And that's an acronym.
And yeah.
And that stands for Mutually Assured Destruction.
Exactly. And you see the kind of people who would put this thing of Alan Chastney, the kind of mind that would do that, I feel the only way to combat and fight these people is with a more dangerous, destructive weapon.
Well, that's kind of like arms race, eh?
I know.
Each time you keep going and going.
You cannot tell me that the Prime Minister called for on the 24th of May for a day of prayer. Something St. Lucia needs, because there's so much ignorance, unfortunately, on this island.
And
I
devils.
see it every day. I thought after 50 years in politics we would have changed. At least we would be smarter in our own interests. Forget about politics. People will always have their sides, and you can preach Paul to them. They'll stick to their side. That's okay with me. You don't have to give people any reason for doing what you do. You're a big person. You're an adult. You choose your thing once you're not breaking the law. So I respect that. But if the Prime Minister or his government declares a day of prayer for the 24th, my goodness, if you're not a person of prayer or you have your own religious ideas, that's fine. But you don't have to, I don't think it's proper to come out openly as a St. Lucian and say you're not going to do it, you don't believe in that and that and that. And these are the same people I suspect when they get into trouble or they get the virus or their family gets it, they start asking the doctors all kind of foolish questions whether they're going to die. These are the people who are most afraid to die because they have not made peace with themselves or with their gods. And I want to urge St. Lucians, we need a moment. And you don't have to be it doesn't have to be a long prayer. Sometimes I find these people pray too much, the church leaders, all of them. I find they pray too long. You have to put yourself in the presence of an almighty spirit called Jehovah God and say that you are sorry for all the things that you have done, including mistreating people, answering people in a rude way, because the only means of communications we have with God are the people that we meet and see every day. These are the people God sent into our paths to make their lives better, and in turn for us to make them better with a smile, a kind word, etc., etc. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. But you cannot go the other way around and blame Alan Chastney, call it politics, call it whatever you want. And you can't take a song from this gentleman, Linus Modest, and turn it into something which was so ugly. As a matter of fact, I think Rick went off subject, because he didn't even discuss the thing that he really wanted to, and that is turning the song into a papi show, right? So anyway, I'm on the road.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
I just want to say again, finally, that this is the best and most humble I have seen Rick Wayne, and spiritually, I know he's at a different and better place today.
Well, Mr. Josie, a lot of people.
What's that?
I said, that a lot of people, and especially those who are a little younger, don't know or don't even remember that Rick Wayne used to be a singer.
Yeah, I remember that, but the younger people will not know that. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, it's the arrogance and I have it all and I can do it all. That is the part I saw that he dropped last night. Finally dropped last night and accepted that there is a supreme and higher power. And he was totally relaxed. I remember Rick said last night that he can't stand. That has been so for a year or more. And one day, even while he could not stand on the show, he was ranting and going on. And he said, "Look at me, I'm still standing." But he couldn't stand, but he could not come to terms with it. He was so angry. But last night, he finally said it. And we have to come to terms with our life. That is what God has given us an intelligence for. And that is why Jesus has said to us.
Well, I think,
be humble.
in all honesty, I think when he said, I'm still standing, that was not literal. I think
Sorry, I missed what he said.
I think when he made that statement, it was not literal. I'm still standing means I'm still here, I'm still doing my thing, you know. But anyway.
Yeah, well, that's why I didn't say anything at first. But in comparison to what he said last night,
yeah.
you know, I'm still here, I'm still doing my thing. That's true. But it could have been misinterpreted. But be that as it may, last night for the first time he acknowledged his weakness as a human being, his physical weakness. And I'm sure that spiritually he is in a stronger and better place for it. And I congratulate him.
Okay, thank you very much.
You have a good day, Norbert. You and your listeners, take care. Bye.
Okay. Yeah, folks. So I was saying here, a lot of people don't really know that Rick Wayne was actually a singer, and one of his biggest hits was called In My Imagination, and I'll play that for you right now. If you never heard it, you heard it here first. Rick Wayne.
We've never met, we've never touched, we've never kissed, but in my imagination, your loving kisses through me through the night. Every day so helplessly I watch you passing by. You're always with another guy. Even though you see me, you don't know that I exist. We've never met, we've never touched, we've never kissed, but in my imagination, you come to me when I turn out the light. Yes, in my imagination, your loving kisses through me through the night. You're the hit of every party, you're the queen of every dance. No wonder I don't stand a chance. There's so many guys who wanna win your love someday. I don't think they will, but as for me, I've found a way. 'Cause in my imagination, you come to me when I turn out the light. Yes, in my imagination, your loving kisses through me through the night. In my imagination, you come to me when I turn out the light. In my imagination, your loving kisses through me through the night.
And that, folks, was Rick Wayne. Bet you didn't know. Rick Wayne was a singer back in the day. I think that's from the 1960s. 1960. Rick Wayne, 1960. Can you believe that, folks? That's when that kind of music was hot. In my imagination, Rick Wayne on CBS Records. Can you believe that? Actually, 1964. 1964. Rick Wayne. 19. Well, actually. Yeah, somebody's gonna jump in there with me. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Mr. Botai.
Good morning. How are you?
That is the first time I'm calling your show. I always listen.
Oh,
but
it
let
is.
me tell you.
You got the bell. Good morning.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
That song just exploded my spirit. I really love it. Oh boy, you see, ignorance is something I never knew Rick used to sing.
Yeah, Rick was
and
a big time
I really
singer.
enjoy that song.
Yeah, good.
So thank you. Have a good day.
You're welcome.
All right.
Have
bye.
a nice day. Bye bye. Thank you for calling. Another first time caller. That's right, folks. Every day you have the opportunity to learn something new. Rick Wayne, the man himself, Mr. Universe, Mr. World, Mr. Tutkalte Bagay, everything. St. Lucian was a singer. And there you heard his song, In My Imagination, from 1963-64. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real. Good morning.
Morning, keep it real.
Yes, sir. You got to turn down your radio, please.
Morning, I'm watching you right here.
You're good.
Yes, keep it real. Keep it real. You know, there's what I don't find, and what I find is very hypocritical in this country. We wait when an artist or someone who has contributed to this country, wait when they passed away to say what they have done or whatever they do or whatever music or artist that they are, to play their music or to speak about them. Why we wait until when that person passed away? When that person has contributed to that country. Look at Jim Coco Snow.
Yeah. Everybody's talking now.
Before, I see it playing where he was singing the music in some country when he went.
When last did they play something from him?
You know what I'm saying? It's very bad in this nation. Very, very bad. I find we are very, very hypocritical about that. When you see we have people that contribute to our nation, especially locally, you know, I find we are very biased about it. Even the radio stations, I find it. They play all kind of old stupid music, cartel this and that don't belongs to her, often as ever. But when it comes to our local artists in this country, we don't recognize them.
Yeah.
We don't respect them. You know, look at True Tones, Quavers, Magic Circle,
Oh yeah.
You have all those things there, the Harmonites, and all those local.
Most people don't even know they exist.
Titus are from Marsha. All right.
Oja Titus.
Yes. You know, and all this. You know, and look at it. You know, we Queen, you just finished play. There's another guy who used to work at the health center. You know, he have another local song. Every time he passed by the shop, I always ask him about the music. But he never make a CD out of it. All right. But I'm saying, look at all those local artists that we have. I mean, play their music. No, wait until when they passed away. It is not good. It's not nice. You know. Exactly. It's not good at all. So let us try to see if we can get those local artists. Johnny Romile. Do you remember Johnny Romile?
Oh, of course, the barber.
All right. Do you remember, the guy, what is his name? I just forget. Jimmy Evans.
Yeah.
All right. You have Jimmy Evans. You have T.G. Fury.
T.G. Fury, that's right. He lived in Germany for a while.
Yes, but...
Oh, was it? No, was it? Oh, that was Malcolm Lux.
Yes.
Malcolm Lux lived in Germany.
Fury.
Yeah, I remember T.G. Fury.
Yes.
T.G. Fury was hot around Independence, 79. Yes. They had an album around then.
Regis guy.
Francis Regis.
You have the Hibiscus from Lac Leary.
That's
you have
right.
all those artists you had there.
That's it, Bull and those guys.
Blue, all those people.
Yeah.
You know. I remember all those people in the 50s, in the 60s. I remember all of them. And we don't play not a bit of their music.
Yep.
Lots of them have gone to rest already.
Yeah.
And we have not at least recognized to play their music. Get them. You know, Johnny O'Mara have a lot of nice songs.
Yeah.
I even can say one to you. He have one they call I've Lost You. It pains my heart to live without you, baby.
Yeah. I remember that one. That was really nice.
Right. And all the TG3, oh my God. Keep it real. Huh?
Yes.
Have a nice day.
Caller, you need to get in touch with me.
Okay, that is Megs the Barber.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Have a great day. Folks in the background there, thank you very much. Megs the Barber. Oja Titus, just mentioned by Megs. By the Quavers. Oja. Titus Eugene. You haven't heard it in a while. Well, you're hearing it right here on Sky FM. Oja Titus. You are the light. You are the beginning and the end. You are Alpha and Omega. You're the greatest superstar of them all. Oja. Just keeping it real with you today, folks. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Norbert.
Morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good. First time I'm waking up so early to listen to your program.
Ah, great. That's wonderful. Talk to us today.
No, I think I like the idea of the songs that you all have spoken about, or the artists. Definitely, I believe that maybe Sky FM should look at a session in between our program when we can highlight some of the local artists. You recall some time ago the PM mentioned something about the local music and that the contents of what the media broadcasts. There should be a certain percentage of local content.
The minimum, yes, of local music.
You saw how people reacted. Some people reacted negatively. Oh, you want to dictate to people what they should listen to and what they should play. I mean, do we really know what we want in this country? Now, I am very concerned about the media being used to perpetuate violence. Did you hear that second caller on that program with Tricia, which highlighted that we need a war in St. Lucia?
I've heard about it.
I actually have a recording of it. I can send it to you. But this is crazy. That people, that talk show hosts in this country would use the media to promote violence, civil unrest, and civil disobedience. I mean, the question is, what has this country become? Because I cannot understand that any right-thinking St. Lucian, and I think that advertisers and these people, maybe the right-thinking citizens of this country needs to revisit what needs to happen with these media houses. And I believe that we need to look at the people who are sponsoring these stations. Maybe we need to revisit our approach towards them, because it cannot be. And I know people will say, well, you're in government. Everything that this Labour Party operatives, and these are not just talk shows, these are Labour Party operatives, disguising themselves. You see, when Dr. Secret comes on, Norbert, he declares what he is there to do.
Yeah.
Ring the bell, declares where he is at, what he is doing. Champagne says what he is doing. When I am on Sky FM, everybody knows I'm speaking about Castries Southeast and things that affect St. Lucia in general. So you don't have to guess who I am. But these fake people who disguise themselves as media persons and talk show hosts, who come in to push the agenda of the Labour Party and to try and do everything possible to destabilize and undermine the effectiveness or the stability of this country.
Yep.
I think we have a responsibility as citizens to say no to these things. And there are ways, I do not want to mention anything or any suggestions. I do have some suggestions that needs to be, I need to think through them, but this is not a one-off situation. If it was a one-off situation where, okay, a caller calls and this is, but this is, you have the postings on social media.
Pattern of behavior.
You now have, they are blatantly coming out.
Desperation.
And threatening. I mean, when you say you want war in St. Lucia, and I almost got the impression that that last caller is not even in St. Lucia, that caller may be in Canada, because I heard the caller say, well, when we were there and how many people came out on the streets and the government of Canada didn't do anything. I mean, calling on people to disobey all the laws in St. Lucia. And a media house sanctions this?
Not a statement from anyone.
No, but I believe that flow that gives the license to these people, which should have an international reputation, should be brought into question. Now, it's either Flow or Columbus Communications. And it cannot be. And those who want to take me to task on this, they are free to do so.
I support that statement you just made there 100%, and many St. Lucians do. Many have expressed the same sentiments.
I don't think as a country that we should go after the little people who allow these things to happen. I think we need to go after the big guns. And I believe that Flow or Columbus Communications is the agent through which some of these things are being broadcast on television, because they must have some form of arrangement in order to be able to broadcast. What channel is that being broadcast on, that program? Do you know?
That's UTV.
So, they must be using a platform, and that platform is with
Flow, Flow cable.
Flow. In fact, what I know is that a couple of the cases that have been filed now, and I have a couple of them myself that have been filed, and that includes Columbus Communications has been served on this also. As a party to what is happening. So, because we cannot, you see, we are setting a pattern for this country that when we begin to reap the fruits,
can't get out from it,
for the seeds that we are planting today, we will not want to be able to consume the fruit that we are planting today. And I'm not worried about today. I'm concerned about the pattern that we are setting. What it is that, what is the signal that we are sending? So here we are saying to the young people, do not commit crime. There should not be violence. That is not the way to go. You know, find better ways to resolve your issues.
Conflict resolution.
Conflict resolution. Anger management. This and that. And then, in the same breath, we have all kinds of people on the media advocating violence, advocating civil disobedience, advocating unrest, calling for war, calling for dynamites and grenades.
That's right.
I mean, what is wrong wrong with us in this place? Is the Labour Party so desperate that they are willing to destroy this country at any cost? They don't care who gets hurt in the process, what happens to people. And we have not heard one word of condemnation from the Labour Party.
Nada.
Because all
Nada.
of these people are their operatives.
Nada.
And I'm calling on Philip J. Pierre. If you say you are the leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party.
Mr. Minister, good luck. Good luck with that one.
No, because you have to call out these people. You cannot want to attack this. I mean, Kenny, when Dr. Kenny Anthony, when Prime Minister Alan Shafley was leader of the United Workers' Party, and what was his statement, Norbert? His statement was, this election is not going to be against UWP and Labour. This election is going to be against Labour and the Shasney family. I don't want to say I'm quoting him, but words to that effect.
Yep.
That was the message that he sent. It is 5 years later. This is the fruit of the seed planted by the former leader, or if he is still the de facto leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party. Now, note the statements made on the program where it was said, and is that person a Bajan?
Well, the accent suggests that the person speaks Bajanish.
I hope this person is not a Bajan.
Well, he says my people, so it suggests that he has some St. Lucian sort of links. Maybe he's lived in Barbados, maybe he's adopted the accent. But he could be anywhere in this day and age. I'll tell you something, Mr. Minister.
But just before, can you imagine a St. Lucian going to Barbados and saying that?
Can you imagine the nonsense that gets passed on here, on radio, happening in Barbados? A number of people have told me that this would never pass one day in Barbados. Never.
Because you know what? Bajans are patriotic people. Bajans know. That's one thing you can credit the Bajans for. Don't come and mess around with the Bajan people or whatever.
Patriots over there. Do we have a bunch of hatriots over here pretending, masquerading as patriots?
So I was saying the statements made by Dr. Anton 5 years ago. Look at the statement made today. To Shasney's mother, father, brothers, sisters, and the people of St. Lucia condone so many persons, and Philip J. Pierre, as the leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party, who want to call. So when the incident happened, everybody was up in arms. I never said a word. We need to stop this mudslinging. We need to do this. We need to do that. All their postings, there need to be a standard set for the campaign. Because it was one of theirs who had done something wrong. Now that the shoe is on the other foot, have you heard any one of them? Ernest Hilaire, Philip J. Pierre, Sean Edwards, Kenny Anthony himself, Moses Jabati, you name them. Have you heard one of them come out and say, no, this is not right?
Nada.
Which
Tacit
means,
endorsement.
And this is being done by their operatives.
Well known operatives.
So obviously, I have to think that this is perpetuated, planned and orchestrated by the St. Lucia Labour Party and being carried out by persons on their behalf, on behalf of the St. Lucia Labour Party.
I don't think it's a far stretch of the imagination at all.
And I'm telling the people of St. Lucia, pay attention to what is happening. And I've given them their time, Norbert. But I am going to start a drive in Castries Southeast for the disrespect shown to the people of Castries Southeast by the St. Lucia Labour Party for sending a candidate who has done these kinds of things. And not a word from the St. Lucia Labour Party to the people of Castries Southeast about this situation. But I'm not disclosing all of my plans now. But I expect by the time that we are finished with this thing, the Labour Party will understand once and for all that the people of Castries Southeast will not sit by and allow themselves to be disrespected by the Labour Party and their operatives. But that I will disclose a little more of. And that's not an initiative from me. I can tell you there are dozens of people who have come out to protest, and their form of protest will be in the ballot box.
Yep.
And I'm talking about former strong supporters of the Labour Party who have been so disgusted by what has happened and the manner in which the Labour Party has treated it, that they will get a lesson. Well, I don't even want to say they will get a lesson because I don't think they are capable of learning. But we will leave that. I want to leave the line open so other people can come on. But no, but I'm telling you, you said this thing in St. Lucia, all right-thinking St. Lucians need to join in and condemn this kind of behavior.
Absolutely.
By the St. Lucia Labour Party. And as I told you, we are looking at it from a much higher level, and that is going to take root very soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. Minister of Economic Development, Guy Joseph. We have another call. Good morning. You're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Man, all what the minister...
Please turn down your radio. Please turn down your radio.
All what the minister is saying is right on target. That is the mischief of the St. Lucia Labour Party. Because they know in 25 years they didn't do nothing for the people of St. Lucia. And the reason why they're going behind Guy Joseph and the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Shastny, is because in the short space in time, look at all what that has happened to this country. The road works, you know, the investors interested in St. Lucia big time. If it wasn't for COVID, St. Lucia would be booming. But there is a God making things still happen in that pandemic. Now, the problem the Labour Party has is because they realize people now, especially the young people, they need jobs. And under the Labour Party, those jobs were not being created. So they had a problem. Now the problem now is this United Workers' Party is doing what they have to do. And that is affecting them. Far and foremost, they're attacking the Prime Minister, they're attacking Guy Joseph, and there's more to be tackled. Because the truth of the matter is, this United Workers' Party has worked.
Yeah.
And you look at Mr. Stanislaus, you look at Dominic Feedy, rookies, you know.
Yep.
Rookies.
Yeah. Well said.
And look at the number of work these guys have put in the constituency and still going.
In their constituency.
And yes. And the people still have to give them another 5 years because that is not the end for the constituencies. Because, Norbert, you know and I know when we were growing up, okay? When it's summertime, we used to go to the countryside, right?
Yeah.
We used to go to the ravines and what have you. The roads in those times were bad.
Yeah.
You remember Italian B, Billy B, and all kind of B's?
Yeah. Follow the star.
Alright. This is what we used to take, Norbert, to go to those countries. And the people could testify from Fresh Rizal, Viewport, and you just name it. Norbert, when we used to go down in the country, we used to have fun.
Yeah.
But the roads were so bad. You understand? When we have to come back for the opening of school September, you know what used to happen to us? We have to wake up about 4 o'clock, Norbert, to take the bus. And look at where St. Lucia had grown under the United Workers' Party, who built the infrastructure in this country. The same man they used to call Papa Jab according to Josie. Sir John, Melvin Compton. Everybody said the guy was mad. You know? He's a devil. That man don't care about people. You remember Pigeon Point?
Yeah.
When we used to be going to Grosvenor, Norbert?
Yeah.
You remember the moustiques that used to burst our backside?
Oh yeah. I listened to not only that whole area, the Rodney Bay Marina, Beauséjour, where people are clamoring to get a house now.
If you could get, some photos of those, bring that to life.
That was a big swamp.
Oh, there you have it.
Big swamp. Look at it now.
There was nothing. Then the guy said, I think it was Matalo, to backfill and everybody.
To dredge.
Remember that? Noise.
But if you go in that far back, caller, you can remember when that whole area where Baywalk Mall is, JQ Mall, across the highway where all the houses are in Redway there, all of that was just flat cows.
Exactly.
How is it cows? All the way up past Rodney Heights.
Like nothing, eh?
Yeah.
That was behind God's backy. Like when you go there, it's like it's crabs you going and catch and all kind of thing, and nobody can tell you, don't go there and this, that. That was not, because there was nothing. Under the United Workers' Party, started from Sir John Melvin Compton. Look at Grosvenor, all what they criticizing. I live in Grosvenor and I go into Car Street. When the guy said, well, boy, we need a tunnel. Blah, 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 blah. Big noise, man.
Tunnel vision. Huh? That's what they call it, tunnel vision.
Very good, Norbert.
Ek yo denye ka pase an tunnel la, yo pa mute mon la.
Hypocrites. The hypocrites.
I'll tell you what, caller. I got another hot topic to issue there too in just a minute. We're a little late on that.
Okay. Well,
but you can call in when I bring that up.
Yeah, but you need to do that research on the Grosvenor, and we could talk more about how this country developed by the United Workers' Party.
Okay.
And the Labour Party has failed, in my opinion.
No, absolutely.
Nada. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Thanks for keeping it real. Okay, folks. I want to get into what I wanted to get into. A number of people, one person sent me a message. Well, you said you were going to talk about it at 6:30. What is it? I'm waiting. Pasa ponton yo ka NLV mwen ka juke mwen ka ba mwen 3K. I know you want to get it, folks. I'm not going to let you go without getting it. Good morning to those of you on the roads right now. 7-Eleven, and I'm not talking about the convenience store. 7-Eleven in St. Lucia on a wonderful, beautiful, glorious Friday in paradise. That's right, folks. Thank you to all of you out there in the diaspora. I see Puerto Rico está escuchando allá. Buenos días, Puerto Rico. ¿Cómo está el tiempo allá? Muchas gracias para escuchar Sky FM 93.1 en Santa Lucía. That's right, folks. You know, it's like the insults to the intelligence of St. Lucians never stops. Never stops. And again, yesterday we saw a very classic example for that. yesterday, belatedly, well, not belatedly because it was yesterday, an article began being shared on social media, on WhatsApp, all over the place. It was going crazy about an article that was printed or published on a website that is well known. I'm not even going to give you the address of that junk site. I'll just tell you about it. And has been known very well to propagate and to publish the propaganda and lies of the St. Lucia Labour Party and its hackalacks. We know that. We live in St. Lucia. We know the tone. We know who's pushing what. And that website is well known for pushing garbage, for skewing the facts, skewing the truth. And yesterday was absolutely no difference. And the title of that was published on May the 20th, which is yesterday. ECCB, which is the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, issues warning signs for St. Lucia's economic outlook. Warning signs. And in that article, there is a quote from the official report dated December 2020 of the ECCB, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. And in 2020 December, here's where they quote. They actually put it in quotes. GDP decline, that's the heading of that section. And they say, the ECCB report said, listen well, listen to the words from the report, because it's going to be very important. Preliminary data indicate that the economy of St. Lucia contracted by 23.8% in 2020. In contrast, listen to this, to growth of 1.7% in the previous year, that would be 2019. Projections for 2021 point, listen to this, to a modest recovery, although uncertainties persist with respect to the evolution of the COVID-19 pandemic and the distribution and uptake of vaccines both locally and internationally. Folks, that is in the last paragraph. The outlook. Then they continue, but out of quotes, but in bold. They put it in bold. All a very crafty attempt, a very disingenuous attempt, a very deliberate attempt to misguide the readers of that article. Number one, with the headline, the caption of the story. And then number two, with numerous segments within the article designed clearly with the sole purpose to mislead the people of St. Lucia or anyone reading that article by interspersing it with a few facts and a lot of crap. A lot of false information, a lot of half-truths, and a lot of wild speculation. It goes on to say now, no longer in quotes, but in bold. And throughout, you get the impression, because when I was looking, I thought, but usually when you bold stuff, it's for emphasis. And in the context of this article, the whole intention is to make you believe. Because if I was not as discerning and had the eye to look out for the shenanigans, I would have believed that it was directly from the ECCB report. But don't worry, have no fear. Right here on Keeping It Real, I have the ECCB report. Because they also provided a link to the ECCB report. But as usual, too many of our people don't like to read, they don't follow up, they just take the crap. You see it from a junk, from a rag publication, and you believe it's authentic, you believe that it's above board. But it isn't. So the next paragraph goes on to say, St. Lucia's economy contracted significantly as it had the worst decline among all 6 independent Eastern Caribbean Currency Union countries. But you see, folks, these reports from the ECCB, from the World Bank and stuff like that, they don't use words like that. They're very diplomatic. They're very careful about how they portray the facts. They don't tell you stuff like about mishandling or words of that effect, casting judgment. They just give you the facts and the projections. But there is a chart below that they use, and they highlight Antigua and St. Lucia. Folks, let me tell you, and they listing the debt in the different countries: St. Kitts, Montserrat, Grenada, Dominica, Antigua, Anguilla, St. Vincent. And they highlight St. Lucia. Let me make you understand something, folks. Maybe it has not been said enough, or you're not in the circles to hear, or you don't know, or you just take things for granted. St. Lucia is the largest economy in the ECCU, or the ECCB jurisdiction, Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. St. Lucia is the largest economy. And what happens in St. Lucia basically dictates, or St. Lucia's influence is big. And the reason why it's big is because we have the largest economy. But also, let me just give you an analogy here. If you have a tea boutique, a little store, a little mom and pop store, a little neighborhood store, anywhere in St. Lucia, in the countryside, anywhere in Canaries, Ancillary, you have a little shop, a little shop. They have carnation milk, you can buy a little pound of flour, you can buy some saltfish, a tea bouteille l'huile, a little shop that just has, minimal supplies. And then you look at Massy supermarkets, and they have the vast array of all the items you can imagine there and all of that. Do you think, in us equating that analogy to Massy being St. Lucia, and the little shop in the little community, wherever you are, Despin, in Salty Bus, wherever, the little shop, you go and buy your milk, your little cheese or butter or luncheon meat or whatever. That little store is maybe Anguilla or St. Kitts. Do you think that the debt that the owner of that little shop has can be anywhere compared to the debt or the liabilities, if you want, or the operating expenses, if you want, of Massy? So to compare the debt that Massy has, or its recurrent expenditure, let's just say Massy has $1 million, let's just say, in debt. And the little shop in Despin or wherever, where you go buy your bread, you go buy your milk, sugar, flour, has a debt of $1,000, of $500. That's $5,000 if you will, $10,000 if you will. Do you think it's a reasonable comparison between the two, Massy and the little store in it? So why you want to compare and characterize St. Lucia's debt with St. Kitts Nevis? You think the monthly recurrent costs for the government of St. Kitts is the same as St. Lucia? You think St. Kitts population is anything compared to St. Lucia? You think the rental that the government of St. Kitts has to pay for government spaces, for government offices, is anything compared to St. Lucia? Do you think that the services for health, for roads, for schools, for education, for anything else that you want in St. Kitts is anything compared to what the government of St. Lucia has to pay? So do you think that the debt of St. Kitts is going to be anything near the debt of St. Lucia? Of course not. So why put up a chart to compare and highlight small countries against St. Lucia? Remember, you take a fair COVID, compare Barbados. Every country has its own peculiar or particular set of circumstances. But they will do that conveniently to make the non-discerning people among us, or those who don't have the experience in that sort of thing, or those who don't understand and just see the, well, yes, I know, my God, yes, yes, nah. That's the disingenuity of these people there. And that it goes straight to the 3B's principle that I tell you about all the time. Bullshit baffles brains, and that's what it is. A load of bull. That's what it is. Now I am going to go right now to the ECCB report. But clearly, folks, everything there is as a result of COVID in 2020. The report specifically states, points to 2020, the global pandemic, but they will gloss over that. They will gloss over it. Let me read to you what the ECCB report says. The first paragraph, the first section, overview. Preliminary data, exactly what they posted there, indicates that the economy of St. Lucia contracted by 23.8%. But so did the economy of every single country around the world. That is the context that they're not giving you. As if it's this government alone that has had financial or revenue challenges during 2020. The whole world has. The US unemployment, 60 million people were out of a job in 2020 because of COVID. 60 million, the mighty America, Canada, the UK, Spain, Italy, Greece, Germany, two around the world. But these people want you to believe that St. Lucia is in some special place that is different, that we have some kind of magic thing, must have see Grindberg, Juen, Will, whether we have gold or diamonds or something. But the whole intention is to make you believe that St. Lucia has performed so terribly. We know that's not the case, folks. You live here. And those of you who connected to St. Lucia know darn well that St. Lucia has done damn well over here. I don't put any water in my mouth. I don't put no sugar. I ain't putting no salt in my mouth to say that. That the measures this government has taken have been very, very deliberate and have St. Lucia where it is today in all of this, that countries in the region will emulate, will copy almost word for word our COVID-19 Prevention and Control Act. Almost word for word. That when St. Lucia is implementing the state of emergency and curfews, regardless and notwithstanding all the BS noise from St. Lucia, that those measures in being so proactive so early in the game is what has St. Lucia where it is today, in a much better situation than all the other countries that now, even the opposition are crying in Jamaica for the government to implement a state of emergency so you could have curfews, so you could put measures in place. Tell you about, oh, Shasnik wants to, the government wants to use the state of emergency for elections purposes. Trinidad ain't got no elections now. What they're doing, they're just extending it for 3 more months or until September or whatever. They ain't got no elections now. So if there are no elections, why are they implementing it now? Because it has an effect. It allows the government to put measures in place. Why Grenada doing the same thing? Why is the opposition in Jamaica, opposition house have calling for a state of emergency. Why? But in St. Lucia, the gurus, the brain boxes, those who failed at everything they wanted to do before, they couldn't do it, but now all of a sudden, out of government, they are the brain boxes. They have the brightest ideas in the world. They know how to manage finances. They know how to manage health. They know how to manage education. They know how to manage fixing the infrastructure, fixing the roads. They know the best way to manage the redevelopment of Huronor International Airport. They have all the bright ideas on how to desil the dam. Everything crumbled under them. But all of a sudden, miraculously, there has been some great, I don't know where they get it from, some epiphany. And you're left to believe that if you don't eat guavas, that if you don't buy local bread, that if you don't shop at the supermarket, that if you can't dance, you ain't gonna dance, that it's gonna give you the bright ideas to manage the affairs of state. That if you have one passport, that if you're a black man in St. Lucia, that if you've never lived outside of St. Lucia, that somehow, in some strange way, that you have the bright ideas, that you have the brain box ideas, that you are eligible, that you alone, and following in the footsteps of Stephen King, the one you all call Deck and uneducated and stupid and go-go. You all remember that? You all remember that? Want to you're following in the footsteps of John Combs. Are you a hypocrite? Liar. All of a sudden, Romanus Lancico is such the statesman to be revered. You opened the HRDC in 2001. Now in 2021, 20 years later, all of a sudden, you've had some epiphany, you've had some dream, you've had some revelation that Romanus Lancico was all that for Castries. He was all that for St. Lucia. Want to compare yourself to Romanus Lancico, that we share great commonality. If I remember the exact use or iteration of that with the word commonality, that he deserves to have the Human Resource and Development Center in Entrepot named after him. When he was alive in 2001, you didn't know that? You didn't know him? The same man you admitted whipped your behind, that you were green in politics. He dish you where you, he lablani you, he mopped the floor with you. You could say all that, but way back then, you didn't see the value of Romanus Lancico. Romanus Lancico died 4 years later after it was open. You didn't see the value to rename the center after him. A center that's run by your operatives. But now, elections close, by showing that, fortuna level. Fortuna level. Ek fortuna pli go passe ou tout, so see ya season level. That's it. All fall down. Now, all of a sudden, you have to play to be the statesman, to be the apre tout sa ou ha di ek fe. I'm going to rename the Human Resource and Development Center after Romanus Lancico. Well, boo hoo hoo, cry me a river. Who cares? That's some sort of belated attempt to woo the UWP supporters in Castries East. Oh, wow, he's recognized Romanus Lancico. Oh, my gosh, Philip J. Pierre. Oh. Right. So let me go further in that ECCB report, where it says, you all quoted it, but then you went to the rest of the thing, so let me read it. Projections for 2021 point to a modest recovery. But the headline of this story, that's what you call bait. Clickbait. ECCB issues warning signs for St. Lucian's economic outlook. Warning signs. But then the content of that is even more alarming. What do you want a lot by IOD? What do you want a lot by IOD? I want to get where they use their own words. So, but hold on. But who is the person who wrote that? Yopadi Usav. Who's the person who wrote it? Let's go to listen to it. Source, the St. Lucian Analyzer. Another baloney publication, another baloney blog. Another baloney blog to make you believe, link after link to this. So they're repeating more crap from other people. Other people try to give it legitimacy. Anybody can publish online, Anybody can publish online. But you see, the tactic that they use is to make you feel that it's legitimate, link to a whole cabal of all of them. They all linked, they all associated. Say, Membaila, that's the smoke screen, the 3B's principle. Laupa akopan, laupa sav. Bullshit baffles brains. So let me go back to the official ECCB report. Right? St. Lucia's report starts on page 45. They have St. Nevis, St. Christopher, St. Kitts, Antigua, St. Vincent, all of them in that report. St. Lucia starts on 45. Listen to what it says. Sayopakadi. Real sector developments. The St. Lucia economy was severely impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 as tourism services, its main foreign exchange earner, contracted sharply owing to border closures across its main source markets. What's the main source markets? The UK, the US, Canada, Europe. This development had significant knock-on effects on aggregate domestic demand, resulting in elevated levels of unemployment, reduced spending, and increased financial sector pressures. Gives you all the reasons, and everything is pointing to COVID. In fact, this very report that they pick and choose little bits of to make you alarmed is practically the same thing for all the islands in the Union. Practically all the islands, because they were all affected by COVID. All of them. It's almost the same thing. The numbers may be different, but basically, in effect, Antigua, St. Vincent, Grenada, Dominica, all of them. And even if one has less cases or whatever, they're still affected by what's happening in other countries like the UK, like Canada, like the US, because that is where the tourism markets are. Dang nammit. But in another insult to the intelligence of the people of St. Lucia, they will pass that garbage and try and make you believe that things are bad when the numbers show that St. Lucia's performance is recovering, that St. Lucia's performance, well, as Sean Edward. But you see, they have to continue the narrative because they have to make you believe that this government is as bad or worse than they were. But the numbers tell a different story. That the circumstances in the world, the circumstances in St. Lucia, the circumstances in the region tell you differently. That it's not because of the government policies. It's not because of the government management of the economy. Whereas we got a legal judgment which spoke about maladministration under the Kenny Anthony government. Maladministration is not mal, is mal, bad. This was Kenny Anthony in that famous or infamous interview that I made the whole of St. Lucia aware of, who said in that Jadia Jean-Pierre interview, but something happened. Something happened that had never happened before. Under who? Under you, Kenny. Under the SLP, it had never happened before. We could not borrow. Why could you not borrow? Because you maladministre pays. That's why. Maladministration. And what did they say? You had to get your financial house in order. Well, who was in government? So it means who was responsible for St. Lucia's financial house not being in order? But they want to make it seem like this government is not working. malmeneo sevel vegleo. So when it comes to deciding who you're going to vote for, you be, well, both of them bad, but that's not the case. Both of them no good, no performance. That's what they want to do, equate the UWP to their horrendous performance. Talking about people do it roads. But anyway, let me go over. So, just to let you know, St. Lucia's segment in the ECCB report starts on page 40 and goes to page 45. Let me tell you what the report finally concludes in the Outlook section. Listen to this very well. The St. Lucian economy is projected to return to growth. Listen to this. In 2021. Are we in 2021? It's expected to return to growth. But although there is some uncertainty regarding the pace of recovery, but that is the same thing it says for all. In fact, that is a report, or that segment right there, is what you can say for the entire world, because we're still in a global pandemic. It has not been called off. We've had waves of infection. So ultimately, this depends on not only what St. Lucia does, but what is done, how it is dealt with around the world. Around the world. So I go further. Accordingly, the rate of vaccinations, both, listen again, both globally and domestically, would be a key indicator of the time to recovery. Listen well. High levels of unemployment are likely to persist over the medium term as the economy recovers from what? The ravages of the COVID-19 pandemic, further hampering the pace of recovery. But that's logical. Everybody knows that already. But you see, the ignoramuses over there and those who want to make you believe that upa akopan and tell you or sell you a bag of good nonsense, insult your intelligence, want you to believe otherwise and be alarmed. But why? Because elections come in. So they will do that in trying to sabotage the image of the government and also try to equate all kinds of nonsense with June 6th. June 6th is the anniversary that you all got your dada whipped at the polls. That's what the anniversary is. And that's it. That's what it is. The Prime Minister has said time and time again, regardless of how often you all want to repeat nonsense, that elections will be held within the stipulations of the Constitution, plain and simple. Oh, it's unprecedented. So what? If you see you're going to lose if you last your entire term and you call elections 1 year early, that's your problem. It's because of your performance and because there is the leeway for you to do that. And there's the leeway. In fact, the law, the Constitution says that the Prime Minister, that a term of office is 5 years. What's wrong with that? Because it doesn't suit your agenda. Because the longer it takes for the elections to be called within the Constitution, because as far as you're concerned, 2 years, 3 years ago, y'all were calling for it. Should he have called it then just because y'all called for elections? But anyway, let me read through it because I'm sure a lot of people want to call. It says, the economy recovers from the ravages of COVID-19 pandemic, further hampering pace of recovery. The domestic economy is projected to receive support from both public and private sector. Construction activity. Utanli ako? Utanli? Oh, people do it roads. Let me read that for you. The domestic economy is projected to receive support from both public and private sector construction activity. Key public sector investments include ongoing work on the renovation and expansion of the Huanora International Airport, the reconstruction of St. Jude's Hospital, upgrading of the Millennium Highway and the West Coast Road, and water supply redevelopment projects at Viewfort Dennery and the John Compton Dam. They didn't mention that. Why? That's the question. Why? Important downside risks include the potential introduction of new and more contagious variants of the COVID virus, which could trigger travel restrictions to St. Lucia and further destabilize the domestic economy. Well, that's true. But that's true for the rest of the region. And it's also true for the rest of the world. That's a big if. But if we have an outbreak of Ebola, that's going to happen too. If we have an outbreak of many other diseases, that's possible too. That's possible now. It was possible 5 years ago, but it didn't happen. However, because of the ravages to the economies of the world, we have to be watching and hoping that it doesn't happen. But you have to be cognizant of what can happen if it does resurge. Pragmatic, practical, logical, sensible. But this is not isolated to St. Lucia. So it goes further. The historically slow rate of implementation of public sector projects could further dampen the recovery. The potential for natural disasters is ever present and continually threatens to reverse the gains of the past 2 decades. Every year we have that. It's called the hurricane season. And every year St. Lucia says, phew, boy, we got away. But that's not the making of government. But that's something that affects the entire region as well. 4560931. Tall order this morning. Give me a call. Let me know what you think about the dirtiness. And somebody, wasn't it Earl Nancy who said these elections will be the nastiest? Wow. Was it a plan? Was it a plot beforehand? And then when it happens, say, see what I told you? You see what I told you? Just like a bully. Busting your tail every day. And one day when you can't take it anymore, you could buy yon kutwe, a babu den robai. Boop! And then you see what he doing? You see what he doing? He cuff me. And he pardi ou tout sa e te ka fe, ki fe ou, fed up. Ou last bêtise li, e kou bay an kutwe, a babu den robai. 456-0931. 456-0931. And the WhatsApp phone was down there charging. Guys, when you're leaving in the night, put the phone to charge. 456-0931. Right here. Oh, we have quite a number of messages this morning. Do we? Yes. After 4 in the morning. What's going on? And we have our first call via WhatsApp. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real. Uh-oh, looks like we lost that one. Okay, next one. Morning, Norbert. There are 2 talk show hosts who have made it a personal vendetta against the Prime Minister. Well, of course, we saw the forged documents, the unofficial documents, forged documents that have already been dismissed. I don't care what you come up and say about it. I ain't giving any credibility to that stupidity, that nonsense. Another attempt, and you know what again, folks? Another dismissal. Fake. That's what it was. Fake. Let's go to another message. Okay, we have our first call on the ring-a-ling. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Norbert.
Morning, sir.
Speaking on the economy.
Yeah.
In order to know where you are going, you have to know where you come from.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. In 1997, the statistics shows that the debt to GDP in St. Lucia was 35%, and the national debt was $250 million in 1997 when Labour took over. When they left in 2000, they spent 2 terms in office. When they left,
2006.
it was 68%.
Yeah.
And it was $1.something billion. And all the infrastructures that you are seeing around was already established. The Point Seraphine, everything was already there. All they had to do is to just continue working on the roads and stuff like that. Everything was already there. The tunnel, everything was already there. So where did they spend all that money that they spent? Where did they spend them?
Caller, you know what's the biggest one that hits me, and it's there to see in the report? When St. Lucians developed or acquired into the lexicon what is well known as cost overruns, $100 and something million cost overrun on a road project, $75 million cost overrun on a road project, all of this nonsense. And these people have the heart to talk about transparency and accountability. You know why we had CIP? I want to drop that there. CIP came about in 2015 to take effect on the 1st of January 2016. Say, Membaila Kenitedi in 2014, we could not borrow. That was the only option for them to make money, and they want to talk about CIP foreigners. That was the saving grace for the SLP, CIP, to save their life.
Yeah, but on that thought, on the CIP thought, do you know that before that was even established, they were already selling passports?
Well, St. Lucia always had a citizenship
No, I'm not talking about that. Under the CIP program that was not even implemented as yet, people were already buying passports and coming to St. Lucia with it.
Which passport? Buying passports from where?
From St. Lucia.
Oh.
I'm not asking you, I'm telling you.
Oh, you were involved in that?
No, I'm not involved in selling passports, but I know. I've come across persons with passports, St. Lucian passport, that has never come to St. Lucia.
Well, it doesn't matter.
And the CIP was not even properly
hold on a second, caller. There are a number of ways in which you can gain St. Lucian citizenship. And in fact...
Not through that channel.
Hold on a second, caller. We have to be very transparent in what we're saying and be accurate. Many people have traveled out of St. Lucia. Many St. Lucians have children out of St. Lucia, and you can apply without them ever being in St. Lucia. It happens every day, outside of CIP, even while CIP is in effect. So
I know right. All what you're talking about.
So even if you have not traveled to St. Lucia, doesn't mean that you cannot gain St. Lucian citizenship.
But I'm talking about persons who has no connections to St. Lucia, who cannot even properly speak English.
Well, English is not a requirement to be a citizen.
You're not getting what I'm going through.
Well, caller, I like to deal with facts. I don't just deal in blanket statements.
It is factual.
Well, I don't have the evidence.
Well, you don't have it, but I know.
There you go.
So I'm just showing you how desperate these guys were. I know. I know what I'm talking about. And it is evident. And there are facts to substantiate it.
Well, I don't have the facts here. Thank you very much,
I
caller.
do know the facts.
Let's move on. That don't mean anything to me.
So I'm saying, in essence, these guys have no sense of direction, okay? Because it is the same guys that were there from the incept that is still there today, and they just shift the pole from the deputy, from the manager to the assistant manager. Let's put it that way.
All right, I gotta go, caller. We're running out of time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
What it is. Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much. Thanks for keeping it real. 456-0931. You got 10 minutes this morning. I'm going to keep it on time. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real.
Morning, Mr.
Morning, sir.
Can you remember a top cop that had to run away from St. Lucia because he was selling passports?
Oh, passports, yeah. Involved in the passport scandal. Yeah. A lot of St. Lucians don't know that one, or they don't remember. Yeah. There was a couple here as well who were involved, according to the stories. They had a souvenir shop at the back of the post office there, remember?
Yeah.
Their citizenship was revoked.
Yeah.
Ah.
I want to go to another point.
Yeah.
Did you glance at Talk last night?
I did.
You saw the picture that was there?
Well, I didn't get in at that time, but I know about it. I heard about it as well.
Okay, I would like you to do some research on that and work on that for next Tuesday, God's spare.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you for keeping it real. 456-0931. 7:51 in the morning. You're listening to the morning edition of Keeping It Real. Minerva's not here today. She's out on assignment.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Nawat.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, What I'm trying to say, just SLP, since in 79, I voted this fella in 79, I see how these fellas run the country and how Cassius I would sit here. I say, well, I won't vote this fella again. And plus, this fella cost St. Lucia how it is there right now with the bananas in the Takupe. They say you have to remember that. Number one. Now, when you tell them fellas that you bring just the same old fellas there like that there right now there, what this fella will come to do there right now there?
Yeah.
Destruction. People pocket going to be like hurting, man. I think St. Lucia should give that young man a chance to be lead to make St. Lucia go where he's supposed to go right now there, because them fellas, the same old fellas, it's more corruption. I see this fella go put there. I will check it. This fella go just rule that fella there, Phil JP, Kenyan Tony, go rule those fellas. Because don't tell me, my brother, you're a big ambassador, my brother, and you're involved in vehicles, and if St. Lucia is so stupid and they put them fellas back there again, what will happen? Your pocket will be empty, man. They will do the worse than that, man. I think St. Lucia should really give this man a chance because no matter, I'm not no racist, man. The man is a young man, right? Respect that. Aye.
Thank you very much, caller. Thanks for keeping it real. 456-0931. Let me try to get a message in here, because once the time is up, the messages, that's it. I ain't reading anything else. Good morning, Norbert. He sang this song and Blue Christmas when he visited our school, Viewfort Secondary, in the mid-60s. I guess that's Rick Wayne you're referring to there? Okay. Emma Hippolyte does not support the New Development Roads Rehabilitation Project. She contends new development is a private development and should not be the responsibility of government to rehabilitate the roads. No wonder the SLP district representatives for the past 20 years never lifted a finger to improve the condition of these roads to ease the pain of the residents and homeowners. Yes, new development is a private development. It was meant to be the suburbs of Soufrière. There are hundreds of people who invested their life earnings into building their dream homes in new development. The roads and sidewalks. Okay. Satwalong. The roads and sidewalks in that area were left in appalling condition for more than 20 years. In many cases, there were never any sidewalks. The roads were not fit for even donkeys to navigate. I am so happy that Prime Minister Alan Chastney did not hesitate to source the funding to bring the dreams of the new development residents and investors to reality. I am so happy that many Soufrierians found employment in that project, particularly during the economic depression created by COVID-19. Upon the completion of this project, new development will at last become the premier suburb of Soufrière, as it was meant to be. New development, you deserve it. Vote Herod in 2021 because performance matters. Folks, what about other areas that are not government projects, not government areas, and the SLP has called for the government to fix the roads in those areas? Huh? What about that? Ay, these people. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Mr. William, morning.
Morning, sir. How are you doing?
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. William, I will tell you something.
Yeah.
The Labour Party is clearly telling you that when they said they're going to have the nastiest election in the history of St. Lucia, they're just showing you how dirty they can be. If some people can go and try and twist the CDP report, Mr. William.
The ECCB.
The ECCB report, Mr. William. That is to show you how dangerous, how deceptive, and how not trustworthy is these people, Mr. William. What I cannot believe. I will tell you something here because I don't want to be wrong. On Saturday, I will touch this thing in Creole on this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you. Have a great day. Somebody sent me a message here, just the last one right now. Norbert, I do not like the way you treat your message writers now. We take time to write messages, and sometimes you do not read them. Norbert, you need to treat us better than that. Well, caller, I can't read all the messages, unfortunately. And when we get to time, when we get a lot of callers, everybody wants to be on. And no other talk show reads as many messages as I do on Keeping It Real. Okay? If you try to be a little concise, a little shorter, because I see you had a whole thing there. If you try to be a little shorter, then maybe I could get through more messages. You know, I understand you have a lot to say. There's a lot of things, but I don't have the time to read all of them. Okay? Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real. Make it quick.
Just keep it real. What I want to see, to have solution to focus on.
Okay, caller, you have a lot of noise there. I'm very sorry, but I can't hear you too clearly at all. And that's okay. Next one. Let's see here. Good morning, Norbert. What kind of people will stoop to destroy their country at every turn in an attempt to gain political power and rule over its ashes? That is past desperation, but a malicious, sick, and unpatriotic thinking. But what's new? We remember, I'll tell investors not to come to St. Lucia. The treasonous statement that the government of St. Lucia was instrumental in the destabilization of the government of Dominica and St. Lucia was the worst prepared for COVID in the Caribbean. Let me see here. Okay. Let's see. I want to get back to that one I was looking at earlier. Yeah, I read that already. Let me see here. It's not this one. Okay, yes, here it is. Good morning. This old, outdated political philosophy of lies, deceit, and disunity will be defeated once again. The SLP is in distress and is inevitably doomed for political failure. And that's the last message at 7:58 in the morning. If I get a call on the landline, I will take that one for just 1 minute. Well, that's going to be it for today, folks. Yep. Thank you very much, folks. 7:58 in the morning in St. Lucia right now, in Castries, actually. We have a temperature of 81 degrees. 81 degrees in Castries, going up to a high today. Just changed to 82, going up to a high of 88 degrees. Beautiful day for the beach if you can do that. Beautiful day to do your business. No umbrella needed, no boots needed. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real. You're the final caller. You have 1 minute.
Hello, good morning. Mr.
Morning,
Norbert.
sir. How are you doing?
I'm okay for now.
Talk to me.
I just want to inform all my fellow youth men and women in library.
Mm-hmm.
It's time that we do this change that is so needed, man.
Mm-hmm.
We have been suffering for so long, guys. It's high time, man. Let's don't stay behind in that kind of thing that's been going on. Trust must go now, man. We're tired of that in lab. Let's join the trend. We are underdeveloped, and that's the only party I think right now that can bring us forward.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to pick up Club Fire Friday today.
Mm-hmm.
The hottest show tonight.
Yeah.
hottest. Thousands of people will be watching tonight.
That's right.
So, big up to all my youth in library. Let's keep on working. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you for keeping it real. And that's it, folks. Minerva is out on assignment. She'll have to explain to you when next she's here. That's it. Another morning episode of Keeping It Real right here on Sky FM 93.1. It's 8 o'clock. If you need to be going to work and you're caught in traffic, you're going to be a little late. Good morning to all of you on the minibuses, in your offices, those of you there already, those still there from overnight, those of you at home, those on TV, in the diaspora, all over the world, and wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining me once again. I'm Norbert Williams. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Have a lovely Whitsuntide. Is that what it is? Holiday, and of course the day of prayer. Thank you. And also, announcement here, Father's Day Bingo, June the 19th, 2021. UWP Bingo right here. A paid announcement. June the 19th, 2021. One card is $10. 3 cards is $20. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.
The character of our country tomorrow depends on the extent to which our young people are equipped to assume the mantle of responsibility. To place emphasis on the youth is to articulate an act of faith in a better tomorrow for our people. The late Louis George, Education Minister. It is my responsibility to tell the stories and to relate the realities of substance, leadership, and perseverance, bringing you the evidence of good governance, transforming lives, the literature and principles, performance, importance, and brilliance of the United Workers' Party. I am Diana Williams, and this is the UWP Working for You.
On behalf of the community of Olemon Granny Dennery, we would like to say a heartfelt thank you to Senator Ferropolius for the work that she has commenced in our community. As a result of this, we now have access to quality roads and better drainage. We do appreciate it. We look forward to working with you in the future and wish you the best of luck in the next general election.
Bienvenue à sous Sky FM et puis ring the bell 93.1. Limo ici là c'est 45609 moi ici là tous les jeudis, vendredis, samedi 8h jusqu'à 10h soir. Moi aussi à sous GVD TV et puis Facebook Sky FM, matchez ça et puis blâmez call.
On l'a fait bye.
Crossfire, discussing the issues. Norbert Williams, Champagne, Dr. Secret, and Ring the Bell. Thursdays, 8 p.m. on Sky FM and GVD TV. Don't you miss it.
Hello, welcome to the program Champagne in the Morning with yours truly, your favorite guy, Champagne. Join me here every morning from 8 a.m. until 12 noon. We also live on GVD channel 115 and live stream on the internet. Join me as we discuss all of the current events of our beautiful country and around the world. You too could get into the program by calling in 4560931 or 4850931. Thank you for tuning in. Join me 8 a.m. to 12 noon. Hello, welcome to the program Champagne in the Morning with yours truly, your favorite guy, Champagne. Join me here every morning from 8 a.m. until 12 noon. We also live on GVD channel 115 and live stream on the internet. Join me as we discuss all of the current events of our beautiful country and around the world. You too could get into the program by calling in 4560931 or 4850931. Thank you for tuning in. Join me 8 a.m. to 12 noon. Hello, welcome to the program Champagne in the Morning with yours truly, your favorite guy, Champagne. Join me here every morning from 8 a.m. until 12 noon. We also live on GVD channel 115 and live stream on the internet. Join me as we discuss all of the current events of our beautiful country and around the world. You too could get into the program by calling in 4560931 or 4850931. Thank you for tuning in. Join me 8 a.m. to 12 noon.